Hello there. Before we start, kindly put my name on the source of application. That is Brian Peron R. Esguerra, and my employee number is 3780701. Alright, thank you. So, there's three ways kung paano ka makakapunta sa Alorica. So, you can either travel by MRT, LRT, and bus. So, we're gonna discuss the MRT first. So, what you need to do is pag nakasakay ka na ng MRT is that kailangan mo bumaba sa Cubao Station. And you need to exit papunta sa Farmers. So, kung hindi aircon yung pinasukan nyo, then malamang sa malamang mali kayo ng dinadaanan. Okay, so, pasok tayo ng mall. Ayan. Huwag po kayong umakyat dito. Dito po kayo dumaan pababa. At pagbaba nyo, makikita nyo po yung Pande Manila. Hindi po kayo dediretso, kakanan po kayo. Makikita nyo po yung mga escalator pababa. Yan. So, bababa po tayo rito hanggang ground floor. Ang labas nyo dapat is Dampa side. Makikita nyo yan. Ito yan yung kulay yellow-green na building or palengke yan. And kapag lakad lang tayo ng konti at makikita natin yung Cyber Park 2, yan po yung malaking tower na nandyan. So yan po yung susundan natin papunta sa office. Nasa ground floor lang po yung Alorica Recruitment Hub. Alright po, so we're moving to the LRT part kung paano tayo makapunta sa Alorica. So syempre po bababa po tayo ng Cubao Station. At ito po ay LRT 2 ha. Pag LRT 1 po, you need to cross po muna or bumaba po ng Recto Station. And then tawid po tayo papuntang LRT 2. There we will travel to Cubao. Okay? Alright, so baba po tayo sa pinakailalim. Ayan. Bale, may dalawang exit po to pag nandito na po kayo sa pinakailalim ng LRT. So, wag po kayo pumunta dito sa side ng may mga jeep. Puta po tayo or labas po tayo dito sa side ng gateway. Nakikita nyo po yan, Nike and Adidas na store. Tapos may isa pang entrance papasok. Doon po tayo pupunta. Okay, so pasok po tayo dito, tapos lakad po tayo ng diretso papunta po sa kabilang side na dyan po yung bread talk. Yan po. So, pag nakita nyo na yung bread talk, lalabas na po tayo rito. Tapos, kakanan po tayo. Sidewalk lang po tayo, hindi na po tayo tatawid sa kabila. So, dire-diretso lang po tayo. Makikita nyo naman po ang National Bookstore. Diretso lang po tayo ng konti. At dito po sa kanto makikita po natin yung Dream World Hotel. Ayan po. So, dito po tayo tatawid sa kabila. Diyan po tayo pupunta. So, tatawid po muna tayo. Pagka nakatawid na po tayo, eto gilid po dito, yan po yung Farmer. So, dediretso lang po tayo hanggang sa unang kanto. From here po, makikita na po natin yung building ng Cyber Park 2. So, madali na lang po yan. Dire-diretso na lang po tayo papunta dun sa ground floor na dun po yung recruitment hub natin. Okay. Alright, so let's move on to the first part of the test, which is the initial interview. Most of you guys would probably be expecting questions like, tell me something about yourself. Or maybe questions like, how do you see yourself in 5 years? But in Alorica, it's very different. The interviewer will ask a number from 1 to 50, and each number has a corresponding question, so you need to be prepared because most of the questions are out of the box. And just to give you an example, today's number 14 is, what's your favorite fruit and why? Now, it's very easy to answer, to be honest. You just have to make sure that you expound your answer because the interviewer won't really be asking any other questions aside from that. Just to give you a harder question, if you're stuck in a deserted island for 3 days, what would you bring and why? I feel that this is a trick question because 3 days is not really that long. So, if you ask me, I'd probably bring food. that's easy to prepare, like bread. An even harder question is number 26. What is the difference between empathy and sympathy? Now that's a bit tricky, especially if you're a newbie. Just to answer that, empathy is putting yourself in another person's shoes. So you're like trying to imagine yourself if that happened to you. How would you feel? So you're putting yourself in another person's shoes or dilemma. And sympathy is just you being sorry for another person. That's the difference between the two. All right? Okay, so let's move on to the next part of the test, which is the online examination. The online exam is very easy. You're allowed to take it up to 3 times. So if you fail all 3 times, then I guess that's on you. Anyway, the online exam is a combination of typing test, uh, hearing test, IQ test, and lastly, there's also an email test. I am not really going to explain each one of them because it's really easy to do. So I'm just gonna go and move on to the third scenario. Alright, so before we start, don't forget to write my name in the source of application. That is Brian Peron R. Esguerra, and my employee number is 3780701. Again, that's Brian Peron R. Esguerra. Employee number is 3780701. Let's move on to the third part of the test, which is the behavioral interview. The interviewer will now check your commitment in working. The questions here will be based on your personal life, and it will be different per person. For example, if you have kids, they will check who will watch your kids when you start to work. So that's if you get hired. Naturally, you will answer that your spouse or maybe a family member will look after the kids when you're gone. Now that's where it gets harder because they will then ask if what if your family member, your spouse, is not available. One of the common reason in absenteeism is childcare, and during training you are not allowed to go on absent. So if you say that you will go on absent or maybe ask for a leave, I assure you that you're already done. So you need to give answers that will never lead you in going late or absent. Okay? Another scenario for newbies is after 1 month you realize that this is not the job for you. What would you do? Okay. So the interviewer will be checking if you're going to be giving up. So if you say that you'll look for another job, might as well go home now. So the correct answer to this scenario is you're going to work twice as hard. You're going to ask feedback from your team manager and also from your teammates. Make sure that you never go late or absent, and ensure that whatever you learn in the office, you will memorize and you will put to heart. Okay? So you can't give out an answer that will tell the interviewer that give up midway. Okay? So anyway, let's move on to the next step.